Hi, my name is Drew Paglia, and I want to talk to you about how small contributions help me to make a big difference in my community by creating a nonprofit called 5Help Foundation. Think back to last year during the COVID pandemic. Businesses forced to close their doors, people staying inside to quarantine. I wanted to make a difference in my community, but I wasn't sure how, just being a teen and all. I thought of a concept of $5 because of how hard it was for everybody financially at a time. $5 at a time to help the community. When I started this nonprofit, I wanted $5 donations to help small businesses and frontline heroes. And as a result, I was able to help support over 50 small businesses across the United States, at the same time using money to buy food from their small businesses to help over 1,500 frontline heroes on the front lines. It was amazing. With that knowledge, I wanted to create a food drive to help homeless and underprivileged people. I passed out flyers at houses and even went door to door to pick up food from the homes. Altogether, that small difference, that small amount that each person gave, wound up totaling over 6,000 pounds of food in 4 different counties to help people. That is how amazing it is. When you start small and you get bigger, it becomes such a big difference. Especially when you add volunteers. I have grown a volunteer base that started small with only a few people to over 100 till this day. And that led me to create a shoe drive. Again, going to each house, picking up little amounts of shoes that people had in their closets. It was amazing. It added up to over 3,500 pairs of shoes, which went to developing countries across the world in order to help micro entrepreneurs. With that money, I thought I was going to be able to buy gifts for children. However, there was a delay in funding, so I had to once again change course. I saw unopened toys in my closet that I haven't used. So I thought of the idea, I could give these toys to lower income and underprivileged children. So I went back to the volunteer base I created and made an outreach to the community. And together, we were able to gather thousands of unopened toys for low income and underprivileged children, which were worth about $29,000. It was amazing to see these looks on these kids' faces when they received the toys. You could tell it made their day and their holiday season. I also wanted to collect coats and winter accessories because I knew with the homelessness and how people were struggling without heat during this difficult time. Together, starting small again, going to people's porches, picking up coats, I was able to gather over 2,700 coats for the community. And then this is where I had probably one of the most impactful moments of my philanthropy, when I went to a homeless facility. I saw firsthand how the homeless people were living in the abandoned school. It was really sad and it broke my heart. But when I saw their faces light up, they were so grateful for all they were received. And I was so happy that I made a huge difference in helping the community. I also wanted to collect holiday cards for seniors. Because of COVID, many seniors have been isolated and they have been unable to see their family. Starting small, I asked volunteers and community members to make cards to give to senior homes. Together, focusing on gathering small amounts, I gathered over 1,000 cards and 1,000 gifts for seniors. It was amazing to see that I was helping people who were lonely during this time. I also wanted to gather clothing because clothing is important and essential. Together, starting small and building big, I gathered almost 10,000 pounds of clothing. It was extraordinary as it brought the community together to help a great cause. Again, with the momentum running so nicely, I wanted to help gather books. I heard from numerous teachers how lower income kids didn't perform much better when they had access to books. Again, I rallied my group of volunteers and asked the community to collect books. Together, we were able to collect over 5,000 books to help the community. It is great because these books went to such a great cause. Recently, I asked volunteers to assemble hygiene bags to help the homeless. Together, with little amounts from each volunteer, they added up to over 1,500 hygiene bags. This is amazing because volunteers and community members can see the results of how small steps make a huge difference. Every time I have an event, volunteers and community members each do a small amount to help the cause. But when that adds up, that makes a huge difference that helps the community so much as a whole. This is important because even if you can only do a small thing to help the community, if you can gather other community members and each do small contributions, you will make a big difference. So start small and make a big difference. Thank you so much.
My name is Mehak Bashir and I am from Pakistan. I am a high school student and I'm really honored to talk to you all on this special day, on this special platform of GSL at Home Festival. So, I have started my own initiative with the name of Women Empowerment by Mentoring All. What does it basically mean, or what is its significance? It's basically focused on bringing up a social change, a fair change in the society by making the women believe that they belong and they can do whatever they want to. So let me tell you how you can, bring about this change, or how can you lead this social change project by my own experience. So I have divided my change project into 4 phases. First phase is Skill Factory, second is Future Farm Leaders, third is He for We, and fourth is Strong Mind. So telling you about the first phase, how you can conduct the Skill Factory, let me tell you. With my experience, I have conducted a very small, a very cute gala at my home. It was a skill-based gala where the skilled women of the community came together, and the women who wanted to learn the skill also came, and everyone just bring about this positive energy, and there was a mutual sharing of skills and all that stuff. And that was, it was the purpose. It was the purpose to tell the women that they belong and they can learn, they can do whatever they want. So here's a small glimpse of my event that I conducted. You all are feeling really inspired after seeing this video. So let me tell you, how can you arrange this type of event or this type of gala in your community or in your area? So for that purpose, you just need, a very small budget. from which you can arrange some tables. You can arrange it in your backyard, front yard, anywhere. Moreover, you just need charts, pencils and some pens, etc., with which you can draw and all that stuff, as you can see in the video. Moreover, you need some women, of course, who can teach the skills to all other people. So these are the specific things, okay? But going deep down, you also need the skills, like the leadership skills, the managing skills, the communication skills. Like if you don't know how to, communicate to the people who are coming to your event, then your event is of nothing value. So be kind, be happy, be gentle, have a smile on your face, and like encourage everyone. Hey, come on, let's try this creativity stall. Hey, come on, let's try this embroidery stall. That's gonna, make the change. So it was all about skill factory. So moving towards the second phase, which is future family. As the name indicates, future family leaders, the future leaders that are the young girls. So it is basically focused on empowering the girls by telling them the knowledge of the whole world, or telling them anything so that they can be empowered, so that they can feel that they also belong. How did I do this thing? I conducted small sessions of 30 to 40 minutes at my high school, being in conversation with young girls, telling them how to improve the well-being, how to, self-love and all these stuff. So here's a small glimpse here, sneak peek to the event I organized. How you can do this. You have to follow just so simple steps, like go to your principal. First of all, write your application, go to the principal, get the approval, set up the room, bring the girls, and you rock. You can tell them anything you have learned. Maybe you can tell them the things you are learning right now at the GSL at Home Festival. So yeah, anything you can tell the girls to, make them feel that they belong and they can do anything they want to do. So moving towards the third phase, which is he for we. He stands for males and we stands for women empowerment. As we know that we live in a community where there are diverse genders. So without or with one gender, nothing is impossible. We need everyone to be on our back. We need everyone to be with ourselves. So what is the basic purpose of he for we? It's basically mentoring the men to support the women, to help them become empowered. And you cannot sustain the empowerment or the improvement until you all are working together, until you are one community. So bringing them united and all that thing is basically the purpose. So what have I done for this so far? Actually, I have planned to organize some online events, and where the men and women mentors and other young youth also can come in contact, and they come to know about the women problem, women come to know about the men problems and all that stuff, and they both try to improve the community in which they live. So but recently what I have done is I have mentor, or you can say bring about this thing in my own home. Like I have talked to my brother about this stuff, like we have to think about the women empowerment and all that stuff, my father and my family males. So really planning to do it on online or live sessions. So yeah, how can you do that? Similarly, arrange some online stuff. You can there's event organizing platform on Google Internet, where you can organize your own event, Eventbrite. You can set up a Zoom meeting where you can put in the data and organize that stuff for the males and women together, so that they can know how this thing is important. So yeah. Fourth phase is strong mind. name indicate, like bringing a change, a positive energy to someone's mind, to someone's day. So how can we do that? How do I do that? I have this Instagram account named as Machism. You can follow me too. So where I post about the positivity stuff, where I post about anything I learned from the online courses, anything I learned from online stuff, because I know many of the my age people don't have access to all these things. I know they are not yet that familiar to the technology that they can do online courses and all that stuff. So I can be the a pathway for them, so that they can also be empowered, they can also improve themselves. So that's my page, that's my initiative where I post about things. How can you do that? You can do similar. You can bring about a online campaign by Instagram, by Facebook, by making a YouTube channel. Like there's a lot of social platforms today, right? So by making the good use of them, we can really be helpful to the community and to the society. So yeah. So going through all these stages, I have learned this, that all the magic I need to change or bring about a fair change is within me. And I have come to know that I am enough and I can do whatever I need to do or whatever I want to do. So same I want for you all, that believe in yourself, be bold, be shameless, like no shame thing, like do whatever you want to do and be confident especially. So I hope you all get along with all the points and all the stuff and enjoyed it. So yeah, really hopeful and best of luck for your social change project. Thank you.
Hi, I am Julian Chan from Singapore and I am 16 this year. This is my first year attending GSL. Yes, even though this is my first year attending GSL, I decided to give you guys a speech. Today I am going to talk about safe housing for people who live in war-torn countries. The reason why I want to talk about this topic is because I have watched many documentaries and I have read many studies about people living there. I concluded that people living in those countries would usually live through constant fear and worry about their child's safety and their safety. These are some clips showing the aftermath of the recent Israel-Palestine conflict, which took place last month. Buildings were completely blown apart due to the missiles exchange. Nearly 250 civilians were killed and many more injured. Among the broken building parts, you could see broken toys and books scattered along the area. Even though a ceasefire was gone, artillery shells still scatter around the Gaza Strip, and this poses danger to many civilians and locals there. Sadly, it's not only in Palestine. Countries such as Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan suffer much worse fate than them. Let me ask you a question. If you are an adult living in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, would you send your child to have an education? Let me tell you, most parents would say no, even though it is good for their child and would lift them out of poverty. But the route to their school would be dangerous, such as militants would try to kidnap them and radicalize them, or they would get injured while walking or going to their school. I hope by solving this housing problem, by providing this model, which I hope will be taken into consideration, hope that this will be very vital for them. This will be able to withstand bullets and small artillery fire. I hope to achieve a small community of this safe housing. This would allow parents to send their children to school and let them have an education. This project of mine will be able to solve many United Nations sustainable goals at the same time. Thank you for listening to my talk.
everyone, I'm Anya and I'm 11 years old and I live in Gurgaon, India. Charles Darwin once said, "The love for all living creatures is the most noble attribute of a person." I believe one can know a lot about an individual's character by how they treat animals, especially when no one is looking. My pet dog, Naughty, a 17-year-old Spitz, has always been by my side as long as I can remember. Pets are the most wonderful companions. They are loyal, loving, and always on your side. I am deeply passionate about their well-being and on the cause of animal cruelty. My country, India, is going through a tough time with COVID-19. This pandemic has not only impacted humans, but has also been cruel to animals. There are thousands of stories on social media about pets being abandoned by owners who were impacted by COVID or lost their livelihoods. Even before the pandemic, only 1 in 10 dogs could ever find a permanent home with loving caregivers. This situation has only worsened after COVID. I wanted to do something about the abandoned animals, so I decided to launch a campaign. I would like to highlight the plight of abandoned animals, raise awareness about this issue, and hopefully drive some change. I have designed posters and images which I am sharing using social media to amplify the issue and rally more supporters. I am also looking for some authentic stories about abandoned animals. I intend to collaborate with local NGOs and veterinary hospitals which are doing some wonderful work. I have visited a pet shelter and plan to collaborate and partner with them. Finally, I will also be launching a fundraiser on a crowdfunding platform, with money going towards taking care of abandoned animals and supporting local NGOs. I wanted to conclude my speech with a short poem that I wrote. It's called "No Animal Left Behind," and it goes like this. Animals don't care who you are, whether you are poor or drive a fancy car. Animals don't care if you're short or tall. They will love you even if you fall. All they need is a little care, a walk in the park, some fresh air, a pat here, a pat there, and they'll follow you anywhere. Abandoning animals is not the way. If we come together, we can save the day. Let's join our hands and pray for all animals, pets, and strays. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Bashar and I'm from Lebanon, and I'm here to talk to you today about education. So, when talking about quality education, which is our fourth SDG, we have to understand two basic acronyms, which are CHILD and TEACH. CHILD is Children, Holistic, Inclusive Learning and Development, and the other one is TEACH, which is Training Educators and Administrators to Creatively Help. So, when it comes to understanding these two terms, we can properly tell that the aim of true education is to support students for them to be able to learn from the diversity of the world and to sustainably think and to creatively solve problems and to innovatively think in a critical manner so that they can come up with several ideas to keep on working so that the world can have a sustainable and brighter future. Additionally, education aims at helping others and helping people live together. So, throughout creating psychosocial support and inclusive learning environments, we aim at teaching children that they have to live together in groups. And although we're living in a world where every motivational speaker and every speaker in the world just addresses the person and the individual, education aims at addressing the society. It addresses people collectively, it addresses groups. So, education does not empower the person, but rather empowers the person that functions within a group. With that being said, we can properly say that education aims at changing the world through developing a sense of belonging of the person in the world. So it aims at shifting the way that we view things. It aims at turning us from ethno-centered individuals or like let's say ego-centered individuals to become more cosmos-centered individuals so that we can understand how the world acts and what we need to do so that the world can stay safe and not just our personal benefits. And when we understand that, we can properly say that the future of education needs to be a place where children can have a good learning atmosphere for them to ask questions. And this good learning atmosphere is an atmosphere of inquiry so that the students can properly just get to comprehend the topic and ask each other questions so that they can facilitate the learning process. I personally believe that teachers will no longer play the role of instructors who teach things in the future of education, whereas we will really be depending on artificial intelligence and the virtual reality. And after that, we can properly say that the future of education is completely based on the fact that children in a country, let's say in the Middle East, can be learning with children in countries in South Africa, learning together so that they can discover properly the true meanings of subjects and they can perceive the world differently, having a sustainable perspective. So, for me, that is education and that is the future of education. And today, I aim at inspiring you so that you can properly shift the way that your school looks at education and you can make a change in the world through properly understanding that learning is your superpower since knowledge is power. Thank you.
So we're now going to move on to the challenge showcase and hear from some of you guys about what you've been up to over the past 30 days and the impacts you've made. We had 207 independent challenges supporting 74 organisations. And remember, this is across the world, 69 countries. And this is only a month of work. So it's amazing to think about what kind of might happen from that. So we're going to hear from, some young people. If you'd like to turn your cameras on, we've got Alejandro, Carla, Jesus, Drew, and Prince, I believe. And I want to welcome them and thank you so much for agreeing to share what you've been doing over the past 30 days. So perhaps if we go one in 10 and we hear from what you've been doing. So Alejandro, where are you calling from? Where are you based?
Hi, good morning, friends. I'm from Mexico.
Amazing. And what passion has driven you? What projects did you decide to take up this past 30 days?
Okay, well, as a project, I decided to join a local organization called Trabajemos Hoy para Disfrutar el Mañana. In English, it means let's work today to enjoy tomorrow. So what we basically do is to raise awareness among the inhabitants of my city so they can realize the importance of recycling. And we would like to invite them to bring the recyclable waste to the coastal boardwalk of my city on the last Saturday of each month, where we will be receiving them from 9 to 5 p.m.
Cool, amazing. And why did you choose, so the issues around recycling and waste, why did you choose that? Why is it important to you?
Okay, well, I noticed that I'm worried about that young people my age don't care about recycling. I believe that it will be a necessity in the future and something that we should all start practicing right now. Through my project, I promote recycling and raise awareness about the importance of it.
Yeah, amazing, absolutely. And it's so important. The waste that we're creating, about the circular economy and how we can make that loop circular. So what can others do to support this cause or interest?
I would like you to also promote recycling in the place where you live. And I would appreciate it if you follow the page, the Facebook page of my association. You can search it in Facebook like this. This is the name of my association. Okay, so please give it a like to the page, and that's it.
An amazing t-shirt as well. Did you have other people working with you on this?
Yes, we are in the association, like 20 people working together. Yes.
Great. And what impact do you think that made, having 20 of you together?
Well, this month, for example, last month, in March, we recycle more than 3 tons of waste. So that's an important quantity. And with that money, we help a lady with his payments of her chemotherapy. So
Chemotherapy, yeah. So you raise money to support her and her rehabilitation.
exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Both kind of the recycling element, thinking about waste, and also supporting other people and thinking about health and well-being. Thank you, Alejandro. It's amazing work.
Thank you for
And
giving me the opportunity to share this opportunity.
yeah, it's great. So people, if they want to support you, can follow you on Facebook, the Trabajamos. Show your t-shirt again.
Let's work today to enjoy tomorrow. Trabajemos hoy para disfrutar el mañana.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alejandro. Carla, let's turn to you. Where are you calling from, Carla?
Hello, everyone. I'm calling from Texas in America.
Amazing. And yeah, what did you do, and what passion drove you to do your project?
Yeah, the passion that really inspires me to make change on is climate change. So averting the most harmful impacts of climate change and ultimately restoring our planet's ecosystem. For my independent challenge, I encouraged my social network, which was primarily composed of my church group, to recycle. And every week that we met, I collected their recycling from the trunks of their cars. And at the end of the month, I took them to West Park Recycling Center and recycled them.
Amazing. And did you have other people supporting you in this, helping you? I can imagine there's quite a lot to carry.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, really my family, my mom, my father, and my sister. But really it was just us. But also, of course, the people that recycled.
Yeah, sure. And why is this important to you, this issue?
This issue is really important to me because climate change affects everyone in a planet. And if we can all, and I feel like this climate change, if we act on it, I feel like it is the ultimate test to demonstrate that humanity can still collaborate towards a common goal. And we will not only help stave off climate change and basically leave a healthier planet for our future generations.
Yeah, amazing. And what was it that drew you to recycling in particular? Because with climate change, there's a lot of different things that you can look at, right?
Yeah, I agree. And really, I went into GSL like thinking I was gonna act on climate change and like reducing carbon emissions, perhaps emailing CEOs or any companies that emit a lot of carbon dioxide. But then I began to like really I was just gonna dip my toes and in like the waters of just really knowing that we can just make smaller impacts first and then work towards like stepping up the ladder,
Yeah, totally right. And we talked about that in the program, didn't we? Like talked about making small actions and how everyone making a small action can lead to collectively a lot of change and a lot of impact. So yeah, that's so wonderful that you did that. is how can others support you in this or get involved in the issue?
Honestly, educate people. There's like a lot of information out there concerning climate change. So really just try to educate people on this, like talk to them about it, even like if it's stubborn, um, just really do. And also lead by example, practice what you preach. So using reusable straws, grocery bags, water bottles, that would really help. Just really demonstrate that you're a part of a change that will make the world a better place.
Yeah, fantastic words. I think education is so powerful, and of course leading by example. Like you going to collect other people's recycling will make those people think, oh, what can I be doing to support as well, or to in my own way, what can I be doing? So thank you, Carla, and thank you for what you did to support the climate change movement and your local community. Fabulous.
Thank you all so much.
Let's hear from Jesus now. Jesus, where are you based today?
Hi, I'm from Mexico. Yeah.
Fantastic. And what project did you do, and what passion was linked to that?
Okay. Well, my project consists in reducing pollution, and I decided to solve this issue because there are a lot of polluted areas in my community and all over the world. So, well, in addition, pollution contributes a large percentage to climate change. And what I did in this project, first I created some social media accounts and a blog where I post information about climate change and stuff to reduce pollution, because there are a lot of misinformation in Mexico. And I started to make eco bricks, and I created a bioplastic to reduce plastic pollution. And the passion, well, I decided to make this project because I have the desire to live on a clean planet where pollution and climate change doesn't threaten the existence of life. Yeah.
Good vision. Yeah, and that vision really, like, it sounds like it really helped you to form that project and drive it forward. So why is this important to you, if you want to elaborate more?
Okay. Well, because my community is a rural community, and there are a lot of polluted areas, as I said. And it's kind of sad to see that there are more garbage than people, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. And I think it's one of those things, it's easy to turn a blind eye to it, but hugely important. And you're doing amazing work by seeing it and saying, this isn't okay, and we need to do something about that. So how can other people support what you're doing?
Okay. Well, this is a local project, but if this continues to advance, I'd like to apply it in another cities. But for now, what others can do is share my project or recycle, or maybe when the pandemic is over, because we're in a lockdown, people can go and clean some polluted areas, like a massive cleaning. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's something that I think the country doesn't necessarily matter. We probably all have issues of littering and garbage, as Carla and Alejandro also kind of spoke about. So it's something that we can learn from you and take and think about how we can do in our local communities as well. Thank you, Jesus, for sharing, and thank you for the work you've done. It's fantastic and amazing.
Thank you.
Drew, hi Drew, where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm calling from the US.
Fantastic. So what was your project, and what passion drove you to do that project?
So my project was using my nonprofit 5Help at 501c3, which I already had, in order to help areas of need and as well as the homeless. So I ran a $5 challenge to buy 15 meals, in which I raised about $2,000, which was able to purchase 6,000 meals. And I raised over $5,000 for a veteran who was burned in a fire, as well as collected 333 baskets for kids in need and over 1,000 snack bags for the homeless.
Wow, that's amazing. And what statistics you've got about all of that. It's awesome, really awesome.
Thank you.
So you know, there was a lot of work that you did to make this, and you say you've already the 5 Help is already something that you had developed before this program. What made you look at this issue? Why is this issue important to you?
Yeah, this issue is important to me because ever since I was little, my parents have always taught me to be grateful for what I have and to always give back to the community. And it's just a determination that I have. It's something that I really like doing. I really like to help other people in any way that I can. And the purpose that I started my nonprofit was to target those areas that are specifically in need, like homeless, because that's a big issue that I see a lot. And it really bothers me, and I want to help out as much as possible. So it's the people that are in the most need that I'm really trying to help out.
That's hugely, yeah, so admirable. When did you start 5 Help?
I actually started 5 Help in March of last year, so it's been a little over a year now, and yeah, it's been great.
And so the figures you gave us, is that from the past year or is that from the past month?
Oh no, that was just from the past month. I went on a challenge to do my GSL challenge. I decided to focus because I heard about the veteran who was burned, to help him, and then as well as gather as much from our donors and volunteers helped out as well to gather as many things for the homeless as possible.
That's, yeah, amazing, Drew. So what what advice might you have for other people who would like to support this cause, whether that's locally or in other locations?
Right, yeah, I have an idea. Maybe you could reach out to your local homeless shelter, or just see what area is in most need and in your local community, or maybe in your country, or even internationally, and just try to help in small amounts. That's why my nonprofit is called 5 Help, because I try to raise money $5 at a time. So it's small amounts make a big difference when you partner with a lot of people.
Yeah, fantastic. That again, that kind of small actions and breaking it down so it's not huge and overwhelming, and is manageable. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Drew. Yeah,
thank you.
Hugely admirable and amazing work you've been doing, and yeah, impact you've made to people's lives. And finally, we have Prince. So Prince, where are you calling from?
Hello everyone, my name is Prince. I am from the Philippines, currently living in Thailand.
Awesome, Prince. And yeah, what was your project and what passion drove you to do that?
Due to the current political and social situation here in Thailand, I couldn't do much volunteering work because of the ever-growing amount of COVID cases. So what I planned with my friends and classmates to do is to raise awareness towards world problems. So we created multiple sites and groups in order to spread the words about certain political and social issues in every country, especially here, in order to help people be a little bit more informed with the current political affairs of the nation, both here and abroad. And yes, that was the big project that me and my classmates, and it's been going well to the point where we have expanded our information even where I came from in the Philippines. So this is a dual cooperation between two nations. Whenever it comes to reporting news, blogging, and raising funds to whatever costs we may get our hands on. But for now, we're kind of stuck with a COVID pandemic. So we will see what we can do in the next few months.
Fantastic. So you're across 2 countries, but also like the resilience and determination. I think with all of these projects and with everyone, for you guys showing up and dealing with the obstacles that COVID might present is really admirable and awesome. So like, yeah, celebrate yourself for that. So Prince, why is this important to you?
For so many years, I have been suffering from my thoughts of this ever-growing passion to change something in the world for the betterment of all mankind, not just for the benefit of those I love, not just for the benefit of the good people of this world, but for the benefit also of the future generations. I really do not like the thought of me just simply living to have fun or to just live for my own selfish needs. I live to help not just the current present generation nowadays, but also to secure the future and the prosperity and the development of future generations to come. Yes.
Amazing. Wow. It's really amazing. And so wonderfully put. So with what you've been doing, how might others get involved, or what might they learn if they were in a from what you've been doing?
Oh, we don't really need much, but if I were to inform people about what they can do in order to help solve the problems that me and my fellows are facing, then that would be just to do good and stay good. In the current situation of our entire world nowadays, it is everyone's fight in the entire world. No one is alone in this world. No one is fighting this war against this virus alone. So if I were to make something out that people can help with, then that is to always try their best to help in any kind of problem that the world, locally or globally, the world will face. So I really hope everyone, every single person in this world will cooperate for the betterment of each and every one of us. This is a teamwork. We're not alone. We're an entire group. We are an entire brotherhood. We're an entire human race. So I really hope each and every individual that I am sharing my words with will try with their wholeheartedly best, with all their heart, soul, and mind, to focus on the positive future of all of mankind.
Fantastic. That's amazing. And what you said there about collaboration, it's really true. Hearing from all of you that have spoken, you've often haven't done this project solely alone, but whether it's your parents or your local community or your peers have got involved, through collaboration and teamwork, you've been able to make a greater impact. So I love that point, Prince, that you make about working with others and collaboration. It's super important. And thank you for what you've been doing, and thank you for sharing your passion today. So